This is the OTB Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. A very busy weekend of stakes racing activity all around the country, and we are going to get things kicked off at Delaware Park, where on Saturday they ran their traditional Owners Day, a series of good races offered particularly for the local horses. We're going to start things out with the Owners Day handicap for 3-year-olds and up at 1 1/8 miles. Let's head down to Delaware for the running of the Owners Day handicap.
We're set to slug it out in the Owners Day handicap, and they're off. Confucius Say toward the outside. Bada Bam Bada Boom is there with American Prince up on the outside. Forward is speeding up as they come by the finish line the first time. Confucius Say by ahead. Right there is Bada Bam Bada Boom toward the inside. Forward on the outside also going to press that issue as they make their way into that first turn. Smashing Bow saving all the ground nicely toward the inside, racing fourth, and American Prince in fifth, followed by Amadon. Up on the outside, Marciano, and runs past him, will have to, from the back. As they make their way around the turn, Bada Bam Bada Boom showing the way after a speedy quarter in 22 3. Confucius Say still in hand up on the outside in second. Smashing Bow continues to save ground with the rail. Forward alongside in fourth. American Prince is next in line. Amadon up on the outside racing sixth. Runs past him, has had a nice trip toward the inside, and Marciano the Gray is at the back. Bada Bam Bada Boom, Confucius Say are head-to-head after a half in 46 4. They've got just over a half mile to go, and now Confucius Say to the front. Bada Bam Bada Boom back in second, forward to the outside of Smashing Bow. American Prince is right there in between horses. Amadon looking to move up. On the outside, Marciano, and runs past them. Will have some horses to weave his way around at the back on the inside with no room right now. Into the turn they go. The 6 and 1, 11 3, good tempo. And Confucius Say on the front end by 2. Forward and Smashing Bow are side by side. Now runs past them, has some room down on the inside, is beginning to kick in. American Prince on the outside. Confucius Say leads it by 3 as they head for home. Smashing Bow continues with that rail trip on the inside. Runs past them now, angles between horses and is kicking in. A furlong to go. Confucius Say is all out. On the outside, runs past them. American Prince on the inside. Smashing Bow forward with a shot over a 16th to go. Runs past him, is coming up on the outside and going by everybody. Runs past him, drawing away on the outside. American Prince up for second. Confucius Say back to third.
Runs past him, and Michael McCarthy picking up a 3-length victory as the 2-to-1 choice in a field of 8. American Prince rallies from off the pace into the second spot at 12-to-1, with Confucius Say showing good speed and holding on to the third spot. Runs past him, has been competitive in good allowance races throughout this whole season. Has tried a couple of better stakes fields in New York without much success, but here finds a field that's just to his liking, picking up his usual off-the-pace win. The winner runs past him is a 5-year-old bay son of Woodman from Irondell by Danzig, bred in Kentucky by the Calumet Farm, owned by JFB Stable and trained by Ellen Goldberg, ridden to victory by Mike McCarthy. Runs past him, completes the 1 1/8 of the Owners Day handicap in 151 1. We're going to head back to Delaware Park for the Endine Stakes next, a Grade 3 $150,000 event for 3-year-olds and up. Sprinting, it's fillies and mares. Let's head down to Delaware now for the running of the Endine.
And they're off in the Endine, and as expected, Extra Heat fires right out there, but we'll have company from Bruin on the outside, challenging her in the early going. A length and a half to Hong Kong Charlie. Outstanding Info, Urban Dancer toward the inside as they make their way down the back stretch. Extra Heat still has company. Bruin is right there. A length further back to Hong Kong Charlie. 2 lengths to Urban Dancer and a gap of 2.5 more to the Gray. Outstanding Info opening quarter in a sensible 22 seconds flat for Extra Heat and Bruin, who's trying to stay with her all the way around. Let's see if she can. A length and a half further back to Hong Kong Charlie. Urban Dancer toward the inside, and Outstanding Info is at the back. 3/8 to go. Extra Heat now pulls clear by 3 parts over Bruana. Hong Kong Charlie is gamely hanging in there. A length and a half further back to Urban Dancer and Outstanding Info. They went the half in, 45-3 as they head for home. Extra Heat on the inside. She's not pulled clear of the field yet. She leads it by 2 lengths. Urban Dancer is trying to slip through Bruana. Outstanding Info rallies on the outside, a furlong to go. Harry Vega is still hand-riding her. Extra Heat opens up 3.5, 4 lengths on Outstanding Info and Bruana. She's on the road to the Breeders' Cup, a $2 million filly. Extra Heat wins it by 4 lengths. Outstanding Info second, Urban Dancer third.
The Delaware fans got a treat here getting to see one of the hometown horses, Extra Heat, just dominate this field, showing her usual good break and running nicely, slightly off the rail, finishing very strongly. 5 lengths the better of Outstanding Info, a mare that we've seen ship up to New York with some success. Urban Dancer picking up the third spot rather, with an off-the-pace rally. Bruana gave futile chase in the early going, trying to match strides with the Heat without having much luck, fading off the board. The winner, Extra Heat, is a 4-year-old bay filly, a daughter of Dixieland Heat from Begin by Hatchet Man, bred by a partnership, McLean, Faringa et al. In Kentucky. She is owned by Kenneth Taylor Partnership and trained by John Salzman. Ridden to victory by Harry Vega. Extra Heat completes the 6 furlongs of the Endine in 1:10.4. Heading back down to Delaware Park next for the George Rosenberger Memorial Handicap, $75,000 on offer for 3 and up fillies and mares at 1 1/16 on the grass. Let's head back to Delaware now for the Rosenberger Memorial.
And they're off in the Rosenberger Memorial. Toward the outside, Bloomy is there with Starry D. Toward the inside, High Lady as they come off that chute. In between horses, Starry D by half a length. High Lady with the rail, Bloomy up on the outside third, the gray Border Fire on the far outside. My Eloquent Miss looking to settle in the 5th. New Economy toward the outside, down toward the inside, Brandala. Then comes Batten Kill, Dream Wish under a nice hold. Then toward the inside, that's Class Yankee, and Sulana is the trailer as they make their way into that first turn. Starry D by a length with Bloomy right there, and Border Fire a length further back, tucked in nicely toward the inside. High Lady in 4th, saving all the ground, quarter, and a moderate 24-3 for this group. Then a gap of 3 lengths to My Eloquent Miss in 5th. Moving up in between horses, that's Dream Wish. New Economy is 3 wide down the back stretch. Brandala, then comes Batten Kill, Class Yankee, and Sulana is about 10 or 11 lengths off the lead. Half goes in 48-2, just over a half mile to go. Starry D setting the tempo by a length. Bloomy right there second. Dream Wish has worked her way forwardly in the 3rd on the inside. Next in line, in between horses, that's High Lady on the outside, Border Fire. A length and a half further back, Brandala trying to move up. My Eloquent Miss toward the inside. New Economy has her work cut out now. Batten Kill trying to loop him 4 wide. Round the bend, Starry D still hanging on by a half length over Bloomy. 2 lengths to High Lady, 3 lengths further back. Brandala's trying to kick it in as they head for home. The 6 win in 1:12.2. Bloomy on the outside, Starry D on the inside. High Lady is trying to motor in 3rd, followed by Brandala toward the inside. It's still Bloomy and Starry D. High Lady's gaining somewhat. High Lady is coming on the outside to run them all down. High Lady edging away. Looks like it's going to be tight for second. Bloomy over Starry D, I think, with Brandala 4th. It's a photo for the balance.
High Lady and Mike McCarthy, who had a terrific day on Saturday at Delaware Park, picking up a 5-1 1-length victory with a stalking trip. Very good effort, fanned wide at the top of the stretch and ran by the leaders late. Bloomy, another familiar face from the New York circuit, shows good speed, held on to the 2nd spot after Starry D broke on top, dueled in the early going. She hung on late to finish well, finishing 3rd. Favorite in the field, New Economy, a bit of a disappointment, didn't make up a whole lot of ground after running mid-pack throughout. The winner, High Lady, is a chestnut mare, a 6-year-old daughter of Lord Avey from High Cherokee by Cherokee Fellow, bred in Kentucky by Marianne and Charles Hess, owned by the Shar Mari stable and trained by Alan Goldberg, who also had a very successful day at Delaware Park on Saturday. Ridden to victory by Mike McCarthy, High Lady completes the 1 1/16 on the turf course in 1:42.2. Heading next down to Louisiana Downs for the running of the River Cities Breeders' Cup Handicap. Once again, $150,000 on offer, 3 and up fillies and mares going on the turf. Let's head down to Louisiana for the River Cities Breeders' Cup.
And they're off in the River Cities Breeders' Cup to a perfect start.
Nanny's Dinner comes out running, as does Golden Rhythm, and Due to Win Again comes away racing in third. Pure Chocolate fourth in the early stages. Wild Squad tugging hard from fifth. Bien Nicole moves up on the outside, and Dinah Penny is the early trailer. Nanny's Dinner will be the pacemaker. Bien Nicole has moved up to take second, followed by Golden Rhythm in third, and Wild Squad's fourth, just 2.5 lengths off the pace. They are followed by Pure Chocolate, who's racing on the outside of Due to Win Again. Dinah Penny has 6 lengths to make up as they make their way onto the backstretch. Kirk LeBlanc dictating the terms aboard Nanny's Dinner, and they're clear by 3/4 of a length. Bien Nicole will keep her company in second. Wild Squaw and Golden Rhythm are a joint third. Pure Chocolate fifth, 5 lengths off the leaders. Then it's Due to Win Again and Dinah Penny. Not much change with a half-mile left to go in the River Cities Breeders' Cup. It's Nanny's Dinner controlling the pace. Bien Nicole is a half-length back second, and Wild Squad tracking third. Golden Rhythm is the gray on the fence, 2.5 lengths off the pace, followed by Pure Chocolate. Due to Win Again needs to find racing room with the white blinkers. Dinah Penny has trailed throughout. Bien Nicole puts her head in front with a 1/4 mile to go. Nanny's Dinner is hard-ridden, has to go with her. Wild Squaw swings into action third. Due to Win Again on the far outside, and then Golden Rhythm. They're in the final furlong. Bien Nicole, Wild Squaw, Due to Win Again on the outside, and Nanny's Dinner at the rail. Bien Nicole short lead. Here comes Due to Win Again, storming home on the outside. Bien Nicole on the outside, Due to Win Again. Here's the line. Bien Nicole wins the River Cities Breeders' Cup over Due to Win Again. Wild Squaw was a good third.
Bien Nicole and Donnie Pettinger picking up a game neck victory, showing very good speed, pressuring the leader in the early going and holding on to win as Due to Win rallied from off the pace. Wild Squaw picking up the third spot. Early pace factor Nanny's Dinner finished off the board, finishing in the fourth spot after being very game on the front end. The winner, Bien Nicole, is a chestnut 4-year-old daughter of Bien from Dana Nicole by Flying Paster. Bred in Kentucky by the Richter Family Trust and owned by Christine and John Richter, trained by Donnie von Hemmel, and ridden to victory by Donnie Pettinger. Bien Nicole completes the mile in a 16th in 1:42.3. Heading back north to the Meadowlands next for the running of Friday night's Boiling Springs Handicap. Once again, middle distance turf fillies going for $200,000, this time in Grade 3 company. Let's head back down to the Meadowlands for the Boiling Springs.
And they're off. Toward the inside, Guana going for the early lead. On the outside, that's Dreamer's Glory. And now Dreamer's Glory on the outside puts ahead in front. Guana is back into the second spot. The pace is not fast. On the outside, Show Lady is racing third. 61 Margot toward the fence is fourth. Middle of the racetrack, Something Ventured gains ground in fifth as they swing around the clubhouse turn. It's Dreamer's Glory on the front end by 1.5 lengths. Show Lady on the outside second. Then it's Guana, who's tucked in at the rail, saves a little ground, racing third by a head. Something Ventured on the outside with the green cap is fourth and inching up a bit. After that, it's 61 Margot, fifth at this point, 4 from the front. There goes Once Around in the checked colors on the outside moving up. Title IX at the rail is next, followed by With Patience, and at the back of the pack, Cat Rocket trails the half in a lazy 48-2. They go to the far turn. And Dreamer's Glory with Abarco, who's been in front from the start, has it by 1.25 lengths. Show Lady in pursuit with Richard Migliori in the second spot. Guana at the rail, yet to make her move. On the outside, Something Ventured. They come to the top of the stretch. And now Dreamer's Glory is shaken up as Abarcoa has the lead by 1.75 lengths. Show Lady not gaining at the rail. Guana is racing third. Down the stretch they come in the Boiling Springs. On the inside, Dreamer's Glory digging in. On the outside, Show Lady coming on. Here's the finish. Too tight to call. Was it Show Lady who got up or Dreamer's Glory on the inside who held on? A photo finish in the Boiling Springs Breeders' Cup Handicap.
Show Lady and Richie Migliori in for the ride here on the oval on Friday evening. Show Lady picking up a head victory in a game effort over Dreamer's Glory with patience, rallying from far off the pace to have a nose in front of Guana for the third spot. Show Lady, a very expensive multi-million-dollar purchase as a baby, as a 3-year-old younger sister to champion Maracina. She was bred in Kentucky by Alan Paulson, a daughter of theatrical from Claxton Slough by Seattle Slough, bred, as I said, in Kentucky, now owned by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, trained by Kieran McLaughlin, ridden by his regular go-to rider these days, Richie Migliori. Show Lady, who just got through her initial conditions in New York, obviously stepping up nicely as her pedigree would indicate, obviously making a little bit of a dent in that very, very high purchase price. Show Lady completes the mile in a 16th of the Boiling Springs in 1:42.1. We're going to head west now to Arlington Park in the Chicago area for the running of the Spectacular Bid. 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs for a $75,000 purse. Let's head to Chicago now for the running of the Spectacular Bid.
2-year-olds away and running. Bold America was fast off the mark. Shandy showing speed 2. Sharp Impact has come out 3rd from the gate. Wiggins running in 4th. Unleash the Power 5th, and he's 4 from leader. Bold America, who has the outright lead for the backstretch run. Then comes West Coast Wildcat from the rail post, followed by Midway Road, who's 7 from the leader. And farther back, one of the Bird Boys is racing 8th and last. The opening quarter, 22-1 into the far turn. Bold America leads Sharp Impact now with 3 furlongs to come. Shandy toward the rail, followed on the outside by Wiggins, who now claims that 3rd spot. Shandy is still right in back of this front runner, Bold America, at the quarter pole. Followed then by Unleash the Power. Farther out still as they turn for home, Midway Road, one of the Bird Boys. West Coast Wildcat, last to make the top of the Arlington stretch. The half in 45-2, coming down toward the final furlong. It is Sharp Impact and Race a Bill. Frank Lovato Jr. and Wiggins on the outside. Unleash the Power down the center of the track. Shandy's running 4th. It is Sharp Impact for Godolphin. They're coming down to the line. Wiggins 2nd. It is Sharp Impact. Sharp Impact has won the Spectacular Bid from Wiggins 2nd. Unleash the Power 3rd.
Sharp Impact and Raceabile picking up a nice victory here by 3/4 of a length as the favorite, just over even money. It's had a perfect trip up close on off the rail a little way and was able to prevail by 3/4 over Wiggins, with Unleash the Power rallying from mid-pack to complete the order of the top 3. The winner, Sharp Impact, is a 2-year-old dark bay or brown colt, a son of Siphon from Fast and Early by Carson City, bred in Kentucky by Brereton Jones, owned by Godolphin Racing, trained by Owen Hardy, ridden to victory by Raceabile. Sharp Impact completes the 6 furlongs of the Spectacular Bid in 1:10.1. We are going to pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at stakes racing action from north of the border and heading west to Del Mar as well. Please stay tuned.
Belmont Park highlights this weekend's action with over $1 million in purse money. On Saturday, it's the Grade 1 $300,000 Ruffian for fillies and mares 3 and up. The Grade 2 $200,000 Belmont Breeders' Cup for 3-year-olds and up. The Grade 2 $150,000 Jerome for 3-year-olds. And the Grade 3 $100,000 Floral Park for fillies and mares 3 and up. On Sunday, it's the Grade 1 $200,000 Matron for 2-year-old fillies and the Grade 1 $200,000 Futurity for 2-year-olds. From Arlington Park on Saturday, it's the Grade 3 $150,000 Pucker Up Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. And we have a special event from Turfway Park on Saturday, where it's the Grade 3 $150,000 Turfway Breeders' Cup Sprint for fillies and mares 3 and up. Catch all the action this weekend at any Capital TV location.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Choruses. Next, we're going to head north for a series of very good races at Woodbine in Canada, beginning with Saturday's running of the Natalma Stakes for 2-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. The race was split because of an overabundance of entries. Let's head up to Woodbine now for the first division of the Natalma Stakes.
They're off in the first division of the Natalma Stakes. Swift of Flight broke on top. A little closer to the rail is Buffalo Jump, who comes on to be second. Better Half now second. Buffalo Jump is third. 1 and 20 is toward the inside, then Megan Me Happy. On the extreme outside, Sand Springs, then the gray filly, Little Miss Pamela. She's followed by Fritzy Hour. Lost Romance is second to last, and Queen of Queens trails this field. On the front end, it's Swift of Flight. Megan Me Happy is out there 3 wide. Fritzy Hour and 1 and 20 both gain ground now as they head into the far turn, chasing the front running Swift of Flight. 1 and 20 is in second position. On the extreme outside is Little Miss Pamela. Then we have Megan Me Happy and Sand Springs, who are both right there. Fritzy Hour back in 6, 5 lengths off the lead. Then Buffalo Jump. It is Swift of Flight, Sand Springs, Little Miss Pamela, and 1 and 20. Those 4 over to the head of the lane. Swift of Flight toward the inside, the gray filly, Little Miss Pamela. 1 and 20 between horses. Sand Springs is set down. Swift of Flight is hanging tough. 1 and 20 trying to run her down. Little Miss Pamela on the far outside. Sand Springs in there with a big shot. 4 fillies inside the final furlong. 1 and 20, a short lead. Down on the inside is Swift of Flight. On the outside, Little Miss Pamela down to the line. 1 and 20 wins it. Finishing second, Swift of Flight tight for show between Sand Springs and Little Miss Pamela.
1 and 20, and Todd Cable picking up a length and 3/4 victory over the front-running Swift of Flight, with Sand Springs back in the 3rd spot after a bit of a rallying move from mid-pack. Very nice try, though, from 1 and 20, who was fairly close throughout. Did end up closing a gap in between the top horses early on, and then rallying very strongly through the drive, going a mile here. A rather rapid time for a 2-year-old filly. 1 and 20 is a 2-year-old dark bay or brown daughter of Honor and Glory from Smuggle by Lord Avey. Bred in Kentucky by Seth Klarman, owned by Klarovich Stable and trained by Rick Violet Jr. Ridden to victory by Todd Cable. 1 and 20 completes the 1 mile of the Natalma First Division in 1:35 flat. We're going to head right back up to Woodbine now for the 2nd division of 2-year-old fillies on the grass in the Natalma on Saturday.
They're off in the 2nd division of the Natalma Stakes. A good start by all. Out for the early lead, long shot Wawota. Wawota has taken the early lead, but coming quickly on the outside now is to the Chapel. And behind those 2 is Sweet Storm Creek, Golden Show. And to the outside, Turned On. To the far outside is Angel in Tights. And also right there in the early going amongst horses is Harbor Blues. And toward the fence is Venturous. Dress to Impress is between horses. There's a break of 5 lengths to Fortuitous. Curiosity trails this field. They're into the far turn. Long shot Wawota is 65-1 and leads with a half mile remaining. On the outside to the Chapel is second. Sweet Storm Creek saves ground as they run through the far turn. Turned On is fourth, 5 lengths off the lead. Venturous is fifth, has 6 lengths to make up. Then Dress to Impress, who is in between horses. Fortuitous in those white blinkers is out wide and trying to mount a rally. It is Venturous who's trying to close at Wawota. Wawota has the lead. On the outside is Sweet Storm Creek. To the Chapel is in third position. Hanging tough is Wawota at the 8th pole. Fortuitous on the far outside, and also coming on now is Sweet Storm Creek, and Sweet Storm Creek has taken the lead. Fortuitous with one final acceleration. Fortuitous to win the 2nd division of the Natalma to Sweet Storm Creek. A big one by Wawota to finish third. Dress to Impress was fourth.
Fortuitous, a filly that we saw break her maiden at Saratoga, rallies from deep, deep into the field, making a 6-wide move at the top of the stretch to a 1-length victory as the odds-on choice over Sweet Storm Creek, who was forwardly placed throughout, while Wawota, the early pace setter, ran very strongly in hand in the early going, weakening late at 69-1. The winner, Fortuitous, a 2-year-old bay daughter of Dynaformer from Vermont Connection by Ali Sheba, obviously beautifully bred to go long on the turf. She was bred in Kentucky by Lavin Bloodstock, A. Stevens Miles, and Mary Sullivan, owned by William L. Clifton Jr., trained by Jim Bond, and ridden to victory by Robert Landry. Fortuitous completes the 1 mile of the Natalma, a little bit slower than the first division, but I think this is a filly whose best distances will probably come when stretched out just a little bit. Final time, 1:36 and 2. We're going to head right back north of the border for the running of Sunday's Summer Stakes next. This is a Canadian Grade 2, 2-year-olds going a flat mile on the turf. Let's head back to Woodbine now for the running of the Summer Stakes.
They're off in the Summer Stakes. Natchez away well from the extreme outside. Tackling Stress is in between horses. Also right there in the early going is My Boy Kyle. Just Watch Me came away running in the 4th position. In between horses, Listmore Knight is a close-up 5th. Wando toward the hedge is in 6th position. Lucy I'm Home is to the outside. Then we have Long Shot Stingman, followed by Judas Deed. Walls of Jericho is second to last, and Native Genius trails this field. On the inside, it is My Boy Kyle, and on the outside, it is Natchez, and those two are going at it as they sweep into the far turn. Natchez on the outside, to the inside is My Boy Kyle. Tackling Stress comes on into the inside. Just Watch Me is a close-up 4, 3 lengths off the lead. Then we have Listmore Knight in 5th, 6 lengths to make up. Wando has been moved to the outside. On the far outside is Lucy I'm Home. As they come over to the top of the stretch, My Boy Kyle. Natchez is right there. Just Watch Me will come between horses. On the far outside, Lucy I'm Home tries to gain ground. Listmore Knight is in between horses as they come through the stretch, 3/16 from home, and Wando comes on with a flourish. Wando has taken a short lead. Listmore Knight is working hard to Wando's inside. Back in 3rd is Just Watch Me. It is Wando and Listmore Knight. Those two in a titanic struggle down to the line. Wando, Listmore Knight on the inside. Wando on the outside in a photo to win in the Summer Stakes.
Lismore Knight and Pat Day picking up a very nice victory here in his career debut in New York a couple of months back. He was very, very tough on the lead. This time he settled very kindly for Pat Day, rallying to a 1-length victory over the game Wando, with Walls of Jericho rallying from far, far back after showing no early speed into the 3rd spot. The winner, Lismore Knight, is a bay 2-year-old colt, a son of Woodman from Lismore Lady by O'Geigin, bred in Kentucky by Bon Marsh and Wallace, owned by J.J. Pletcher and Barry Simon, trained by Todd Pletcher, and ridden to victory by Pat Day. Lismore Knight completes the flat mile of the Summer Stakes in 1:35 and 1. Next, we're going to head right back up to Canada for the running of the Canadian Stakes, $200,000 on offer for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares at a mile and a furlong. Let's head back up to Woodbine now for the running of the Canadian.
They're off in the Canadian Stakes. West Soldier from the extreme outside. Long Shot Gazirella sent right to the front by Francine Villeneuve. It is Gazirella who angles toward the hedge. Coming on to the inside now is a Noble Strike. It is Gazirella dictating the pace. Noble Strike is second. On the extreme outside is Caught Out. Soundtrack is right there in the early going. Toward the hedge is Silver Nithy. Callista down at the hedge, back 6 lengths off the lead. Then West Soldier trailing this field is Diadella. They continue chasing the front-running Gazirella. She leads by 2.5 lengths to Noble Strike. Soundtrack in that red cap between horses. Caught Out comes on to be 3rd. Soundtrack is 4th. Callista starts to improve to the inside, and Silver Nithy will run with her, but needs some running room as they sweep into the far turn. West Soldier second to last. Diadella trails, has 8 lengths to make up on Gazirella at the midpoint of the far turn. It's Gazirella by 2 lengths. Noble Strike is second. On the outside, Caught Out is 3rd. Callista's 4th, has 6 lengths to make up, and it's Gazirella at 65 to 1 who leads these fillies and mares at the top of the stretch. Noble Strike is second. Callista has some running room between horses, and Corey Nakatani cuts her loose. And also gaining ground on the far outside is Less Soldier. Callista, Less Soldier. Diadella's come from last. Callista, a narrow lead at the 8th pole. Diadella working hard to her outside. Callista, Nakatani pulling out all the stops to try to get her home. Diadella surging on the outside. Those two coming down to the wire. Callista and Diadella in a photo to win in the Canadian Stakes.
Callista, another horse we've seen running here in New York, most recently the winner of the Spicy Living at Rockingham. Seems like every year Bill Mott and Chris Clement send a couple of fillies over to Rockingham. They usually run 1-2 in the Spicy Living. This time it was Callista picking up that victory, coming right back here in Grade 2 Canadian Company and picking up a nose victory as the favorite over second choice Diadella, who rallies as she usually does from off the pace. Lush Soldier, also a closing effort here. The early fractions were not all that fast, but the closers did do quite nicely, running 1, 2, 3. The winner, Callista, is a 4-year-old bay filly, a daughter of Caroline from Proscona by Mr. Prospector. She was bred by the late Gerald W. Lee in Great Britain, owned by the estate of Mr. Lee, and trained by Chris Clement. Ridden to victory by Corey Nakatani, Callista completes the mile and a furlong on the turf course in 1:45. We're going to head right back to Canada next for the Grade 1 $1 million Atto Mile on Sunday. Older horses going a flat mile on the turf. Let's head back up to Canada now for the running of the Atto Mile.
They're off in the Atto Mile. Regal Mr. broke alertly. Chopanina is in amongst horses in the early going. Then we have a Quiet Resolve, and gaining ground now is Moon Solitaire. Good Journey is well placed early, and Krieger in those black silks to the inside. Chopanina leads a Regal Mister by a half a length. Krieger is third and Moon Solitaire fourth. Good Journey well placed in fifth, 6 lengths off the lead. Dumani Star toward the hedges, seventh. Quiet Resolve. Del Mar Show is to the outside of Quiet Resolve. Autonomy's to the inside. Then we have a Nuclear Debate, followed by Touch of the Blues. Novaire has one horse beaten, and that is Strut the Stage as they sweep into the far turn. The opening quarter was in 22 3/5 of a second, the half in 44 4. Midway of the far turn, the front running long shot Chopanina leads by 4. Regal Mister is in second position. Moon Solitaire starts to gain ground out wide. Moon Solitaire will take a shot at Chopanina. Krieger is right there. Day ready to set down a Good Journey. It is a traffic jam at the top of the stretch. Chopanina's hanging tough. Good Journey's gaining ground now. Moon Solitaire in there with a shot. Krieger is in between horses as they come to the final furlong. Nuclear Debate is unleashing a furious kick. Good Journey is hit front. To the inside against Chopanina. On the outside is Nuclear Debate. It is Good Journey. Good Journey was brilliant this afternoon to win the Atto Mile.
A relatively short period of time, this race has become a very important turf race for the milers in North America, and Good Journey has certainly stamped himself as the very best North American miler, having won the Firecracker on the 4th of July in Kentucky, coming back here off of the layoff with a very nice rallying move, 4 wide in the upper stretch. One of the things I love about Woodbine is that big, wide turf course where they come down the stretch, all stretched out across the racetrack. It's almost like watching a quarter horse race down the lane in terms of where they are on the track. But Good Journey gets a perfect trip here, and as they fan out around the final turn, you'll often see horses finally shaking clear and really making big moves. He was one of them. Chopanina, very game after running on the front end, holding on to the second spot as Nuclear Debate launched his usual way off the pace rally to finish third. The winner, Good Journey, is a 6-year-old chestnut son of Nuria from Chimes of Freedom by private account. He was bred in Kentucky by Flaxman Holdings, owned by Flaxman Holdings, trained by Wally Zalase, ridden to victory by Pat Day. Good Journey completes the flat mile of the Atto Mile in a quick 1:33.1. We're going to head south and west now to Del Mar in San Diego for a pair of stakes races over the weekend, beginning with the Grade 2 Del Mar Derby, $300,000 on offer for 3-year-olds on the grass. Let's head out to Del Mar for the running of the Del Mar Derby.
Way to go. All came out smoothly. Rock Opera in the pink colors going straight to the lead. Along the inside, Golden Arrow. Mountain Rage settles down third. Inesperado, True Phenomenon in just behind the leaders, as is Mr. Mellon in the white colors. Then we come back to Dell Place, racing back third last. On the rail, He Can Dig It, and Johar is last. 12 lengths would cover them all. Past the 7/8 they go, and Rock Opera setting off at a good pace. Rock Opera goes clear a length and a half to Golden Arrow. Mountain Rage is tracking in the third position. Then back to Mr. Mellon and True Phenomenon. Inesperado, fourth last, and 9 lengths off the leaders. Outside of that comes Dell Place, He Can Dig It, and Johar are the last two. They swing onto the backstretch now in the Del Mar Derby. Lafitte Pink Eye and Rock Opera still winging. They lead a length and a half. In the second spot is Golden Arrow. Mountain Rage is in third. True Phenomenon making ground from fourth. Then back to Mr. Mellon. Inesperado is now 8 lengths off the leaders. On the outside, Dell Place, He Can Dig It, and Johar. They're taking closer order now. Less than a half mile to go, and it's still Rock Opera in front by 2 lengths. In the second spot is Golden Arrow, then Mountain Rage, True Phenomenon. Inesperado now moving into contention in the orange colors on the outside. Then Mr. Mellon, He Can Dig It. Johar is starting his run as well, and Dell Place. Suddenly they're all bunching up. They turn for home. Rock Opera continues to show the way. Golden Arrow second. Inesperado coming gamely on the outside, and Johar is winding up with a late run. They come for home. Rock Opera, Inesperado. Inesperado lengthening his stride and striking the front. Johar running on late on the outside, but Inesperado's the leader, and Inesperado takes the Del Mar Derby to Johar. In third was Rock Opera, then came behind that was Golden Arrow, Mountain Rage, Dell Place. At the rail was True Phenomenon, and then back to He Can Dig It and Mr. Mellon.
Inesperado, Corey Nakatani picking up a nice victory here by a length as the favorite. Off the pace effort in his usual running style, very patient behind horses, rallying strongly for a length victory over Johar, who has been one of his regular rivals on the turf in California. Rock Opera sets the pace and looked pretty solid coming into the top of the stretch under Lafitte Pink Eye, was not able to hold off the late moves by the 2 top finishers. The winner, Inesperado, is a 3-year-old bay colt, a son of Zayani from Il Mamou by Ilamanamou, bred in France by Madame Barbara Mosier and Madame Rachel Lamy, owned by 3+U stable, trained by Bobby Frankel, ridden to victory by Corey Nakatani. Inesperado completes the mile in an eighth on the turf course in 1:47 and 2. One more stakes race from Del Mar from the weekend, that the Palomar. Older horses, fillies and mares in Grade 2 company going on the grass. We had a New York shipper in here as well. Let's head back out to Del Mar now for the running of the Palomar.
Way they go. Janet coming away smoothly, but is taken back now as Skywriting will set the early pace. On the outside, Old Money, and Eurolink Rain Dance going to settle down third. Janet in the red cap at the rail fourth. I'm the Business, only 4 lengths off these leaders. Then comes Voodoo Dancer, and No Shades de Rosa is the early trailer. Past the 7/8 they go, and Skywriting setting a sensible pace has the lead by a length. Old Money is in second, and Janet getting a good spot in the red colours third, just 2 lengths off these leaders. Eurolink Rain Dance is right up alongside of her. I'm the Business scrapes the paint in fifth, only 4 lengths off these leaders. Racing on the outside of that is Voodoo Dancer, and at the back is No Shade de Rosa. They swing on to the backstretch, and it's still Skywriting taking them along. Old Money now comes to put a little pressure on her from second. Janet is on a tight hold, tucked in comfortably third, and Eurolink Rain Dance outside of her. Voodoo Dancer is in fifth, still only 4 lengths off them. I'm the Business, the grey down at the rail, and No Shade de Rosa is the closers, 6 lengths off them. Into the far turn they go, and Skywriting continues to show the way. Old Money tracking her in second. Janet is poised for her run at the rail. Janet keen to go on too. Can Janet find a way through? Fuller run, nowhere to go. On the outside, Eurolink Rain Dancer, and then Voodoo Dancer. They turn for home, and Skywriting makes a dash for it. Janet with a red cap on the inside. Old Money, Voodoo Dancer in the white face, and extreme outside. Eurolink Rain Dancer coming for home, and Voodoo Dancer now taking the lead. Skywriting at the rail. Janet suddenly did not go on. I'm the Business with a late run, but Voodoo Dancer's home. Voodoo Dancer, I'm the Business, Skywriting, and No Shade de Rosa came running on for fourth.
Voodoo Dancer, that New York shipper, picks up the victory, finishing very solid second behind Tate's Creek and the Diana at the beginning part of the year. They decided, or the beginning part of Saratoga's meeting rather, they decided to pass on the Beverly D, headed out to the far west and picked up a Grade 2 stakes race over the firm turf course from I'm the Business, with Skyriding the early pace setter, holding on to the third spot. Janet, the second choice in the field behind the winner, was really never involved in the game at all. Showed a little bit of early speed in the beginning part of the game, but really did not hold on well at all and faded rather badly, finishing 6th in the field of 7. The winner, Voodoo Dancer, a 4-year-old bay filly, is a daughter of King Mambo from Zorrie by Danzig. Bred in Kentucky by the Lazy E Ranch, she is owned by Green Hills Farm, trained by Christophe Clement, who had a very successful weekend with his turf fillies, as is usually the case. Voodoo Dancer, ridden to victory by Kent DeSormo, completes the mile in a 16th of the Palomar in 1:41.2. We are going to pause now for one more brief break, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at the opening weekend stakes racing action from Belmont Park. Please stay tuned.
NYBreds.com, the online home of thoroughbred racing's best incentive program. NYBreds.com features sales and racing news, farm tours, articles by some of racing's top riders, the latest results, plus photos and streaming video of New York bred stakes races.
Here comes Critical Eye, and Critical Eye has won.
NYBreds.com has something for everyone. If racing is your full-time business, you'll want to see the leaders in both owner and breeder awards, and a list of stallion earnings courtesy of the Blood Horse. Racing fans will want to see the latest press releases from both NYRA and Finger Lakes, plus contests where you can cast your vote for New York bred divisional champions, or even name a newborn foal. Want to take your interest in racing to the next level? NYBreds.com shows how being an owner or breeder can be both fun and rewarding. Thanks to the New York Breeding and Racing Program. NYBreds.com has it all. That's NYBreds.com.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses, everyone. Next, we've got a series of exciting stakes racing from opening week at Belmont Park. Beginning with opening day, the General Douglas MacArthur Handicap, proving once and for all that we have returned. New York State breds going 7 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up. Let's head back down to Belmont now for the return to Belmont Park, the MacArthur Handicap.
And they're off. Personable Pete and Safe Florida Sandy, well fancied in between them. Then it's Impeach the Pro and As Wicked, and on the inside, Private Enterprise moves up. Well fancied comes away with the early lead. Private Enterprise right there looking for the lead from the inside. And then it's Personable Pete running third on the outside. Impeach the Pro is fourth. Safe Florida Sandy now back in fifth as Wicked moves through on his inside. And it's a break of another 3 back to Chasing Women. Then it's Magic and Bird, Tortellini Ted. Mountain Intrepid trails the field after a flashy first quarter there, and 22-2 by Private Enterprise, who takes the field into the far turn with a 2-length lead. Well fancied still chasing second as Wicked is now third on the inside. Personable Pete is fourth. Impeach the Pro racing in fifth. Safe Florida Sandy still about 6 lengths from the lead, but now gearing up on the far outside. A break of another 3 back to Chasing Women, then Magic and Bird as Private Enterprise runs a half in 45 seconds flat. The leader by a length with 2 furlongs to go. Well fancied is second. Safe Florida Sandy continues to gain while on the far outside. As Wicked comes through on the rail, then it's Impeach the Pro in between horses. Chasing Women on the far outside, and Personable Pete at the 8th pole. It's Well Fancied in front. Well fancied as the leader. Private Enterprise is now second. Chasing Women is now third, followed by Impeach the Pro fourth. Safe Florida Sandy, not today. They're coming down to the finish. And Well Fancied scores a decisive victory by 5 on the wire. Chasing Women finished second, close for third between Impeach the Pro and Private Enterprise.
Well fancied, pulling off a bit of an upset here, 7-1 under John Velasquez, sitting a perfect trip just behind Private Enterprise's pace-setting run and stalking every step of the way, drawing away by 4. Chasing Women rallies gamely through the stretch but was unable to make up much ground. Impeach the Pro got stuck running down inside of horses and really did not have anywhere to go to the top of the stretch. By the time he made a bit of a move, it was far too late. Disappointing in the field was Safe Florida Sandy, the heavy favorite at just about even money. Never really got into the hunt after being outrun in the early going. It does appear that after having carried 125 pounds to defeat here, his connections are going to be searching for out-of-town company where they might be able to get in with a little bit less of a weight impost. The winner, Well Fancied, is a 4-year-old bay colt, a son of Prosper Fager from Patty's Fancy Trick by Tricky Creek. Bred in Kentucky by, bred in New York, of course. It's a New York bred race. Bred in New York by Seymour Cohn, owned by Sanford Goldfarbs and Stuart Hoffman, trained by Richard Dutrow, who's off to a flying start at Belmont Park. Ridden to victory by John Velasquez. Well Fancied completes the 7 furlongs of the MacArthur in 1:22 flat. Trio of Grade 1 stakes races on the opening Saturday, and we're going to get things kicked off with the Grade 1 Gazelle for 3-year-old fillies going 1 mile and an eighth. Let's head back down to Belmont now for the running of the Gazelle.
And they're off. Take Charge Lady off to a clean beginning, out for a short lead. Lost at Sea is there on the outside, and Imperial Gesture down to their inside. In a break of 3, back to Spring Meadows being taken off the pace today. Nonsuch pace alongside her. Then Jeremiah Rain. Bella Bellucci did not get off particularly well. Is the trailer about 8 lengths from the leader, Imperial Gesture, and Jose Santos is trying to throttle down her speed. The opening quarter was a solid one, 23 seconds flat. Imperial Gesture in front by 3 lengths. Take Charge Lady is settled down very nicely, rating back in 2nd position. Bella Bellucci has found her way to the outside now, and she's running 3rd just outside of Spring Meadow. And those two are now followed by Lost at Sea, then Jeremiah Rain, Nonsuch Bay trailing the field. It's Imperial Gesture. Her first quarter was 23 seconds flat. Her second quarter was 23 and 3. Still running at a good clip here. Imperial Gesture, the leader. The leader a length and a half. Take Charge Lady is 2nd. Spring Meadow is 3rd. Bella Bellucci on the outside 4th, and she's now being asked for run, still 4 lengths from front-running Imperial Gesture. They're at the midway point on the turn. Imperial Gesture and Take Charge Lady, 1-2 all the way around the racetrack. After 3 quarters in 1:10 and 2. And Bella Bellucci now coming with her rally. She's 3rd on the outside. The field turns for home here, a 1/4 mile remaining. It's Imperial Gesture, confronted at the top of the stretch by Take Charge Lady. 3 lengths back to Bella Bellucci, who's under an all-out drive. At the top of the stretch, Imperial Gesture grimly holding on to the lead. Take Charge Lady is still 2nd, 3/4 of a length behind. Farther back, Bella Bellucci is toiling in 3rd. Lost at Sea is 4th. They're in the final 100 yards, and Imperial Gesture repels Take Charge Lady to win the Gazelle. It is Imperial Gesture in a wire-to-wire effort, 2.5 lengths, a decisive victory over Take Charge Lady. Farther back, Bella Bellucci and Lost at Sea.
Imperial Gesture, whose debacle in the Kentucky Oaks is now long since forgotten, has since come back with 2 very good wins, a nice allowance victory over her elders at Saratoga, following that off with a runaway victory here, opening up a couple of lengths up the backstretch, scooting clear, having 2.5 clear on Take Charge Lady, who is returning off the long layoff here in this this pretty solid Grade 1 race. Bella Bellucci unfortunately started a little bit on the slow side, broke flat-footed under John Velasquez, made up some ground up the backstretch and a decent move around the turn, but was unable to match the top 2 as the favorite in the field. The winner, Imperial Gesture, is a dark Bayer Brown 3-year-old filly, a daughter of Langfure by Honor and Offer by Hoist the Flag, bred in Kentucky by John Gaines Thoroughbreds Limited, as well as Dee McGee, owned by Godolphin Racing, trained by Saeed bin Surur, and ridden to victory by Jose Santos. Imperial Gesture completes the 1 mile and an eighth of the Gazelle in 1:47 flat. Grade 1 company on the turf next in the Man o' War, $500,000 event for 3 and up, going 1 mile and an eighth on the turf. Let's head back to Belmont now for the running of the Man o' War.
And they're off. Balto Star comes away well, so too Man from Wicklow, and with anticipation right up there in the early going. So Balto Star will take the lead, and he will take the lead rather easily. He's just strolling along in the early going here with anticipation well in hand. Beneath the Pat Day running along in 2nd, Man from Wicklow down on the inside 3rd, and a well-held Skipping is 4th on the outside. And it's Regal Dynasty, followed on the inside by Blazing Fury. Tobourg missed the break, now on the outside, and trailing the field is Lord Fleshheart. The opening quarter was a walk, 25 3/5 seconds. So Balto Star out there on the lead. Migliori just nursing that speed of his, and it's not much speed at all at this juncture. A 25 3 opening quarter. He's got a 3-length lead with anticipation, and Pat Day sitting chilly in 2nd with Man from Wicklow to their inside. The opening half mile was 51 seconds flat. The pace is pedestrian. The leader is Balto Star. With Anticipation is edging to him now. He's on the outside second. Man from Wicklow coasting in behind them third. Skipping still well held in fourth position. Toburg is in the clear. He's on the outside fifth. Then Regal Dynasty. Blazing Fury at the back of the pack, and he gets a gentle reminder there from Jose Santos. The trailer is Lord Flashheart. The leader is still Balto Star with 5 furlongs to go. They've run 3/4 and 1:16 flat. Balto Star continues to coast uncontested. His gray shadow throughout has been With Anticipation. Skipping his third at the half-mile pole. Man from Wicklow shuffled back a spot. He's fourth toward the inside. And then it's Toburg racing in fifth position, followed by Regal Dynasty sixth, then Blazing Fury. The trailer is Lord Flashheart. Around the far turn, there's 3 furlongs to go. They have yet to come after Balto Star. He has been on an uncontested lead throughout. He lets it out a notch. He lets it out a notch to lead by 2.5 lengths coming to the quarter pole. With Anticipation still racing second, followed by Skipping on the outside. Down toward the rail, it's Man from Wicklow. They're heading into the final furlong. Balto Star is clear by 3.5 lengths. Balto Star still the leader with less than a furlong to go. With Anticipation, he's coming with a determined run, but time is running out. It's Balto Star in front. Here comes the big gray gelding With Anticipation to do it again in the Man of War. With Anticipation is won. Balto Star finishing second, then Man from Wicklow and Skipping.
With Anticipation would not be denied, and at top of the stretch it looked like Balto Star, who had set pedestrian fractions heading through the early part of the race, had managed to accomplish his goal, but With Anticipation is able to wear him down late in the going with Pat Day, his regular rider aboard, now picking up his 3rd consecutive Grade 1 turf win. Balto Star held on very solidly for the 2nd spot here off a nice allowance victory last time out upstate here in Saratoga. Man from Wicklow runs a steady 3rd. Early in the going was 3rd, dropped back a little bit on the final turn, re-rallies, finishing in the bottom of the trifecta. The winner With Anticipation is a gray or roan gelding, an 8-year-old son of Relaunch from Franz Valentine by Saros, bred by Mr. George Strawbridge Jr. in Pennsylvania, owned by Strawbridge's Augustin Stable and trained by Jonathan Shepard. Ridden to victory by Pat Day, With Anticipation completes the mile and 3/8 in 2:15 flat. Heading back onto the main track for the Grade 1 historic Woodward, $500,000 on offer for 3 and up, going a mile and an 1/8. Let's head back down to New York for Tom Durkin's call of the Woodward.
And they're off. Lido Palace got off to a good beginning from his inside post. Gander comes out well on the outside. Express Tour is there. And then Cats at Home and Baseball Champion. So as they leave the chute, there's 3 of them vying for the lead. And Express Tour now emerges as the leader. Express Tour in front. On the outside, Gander runs in second. Jorge Chavez holding his position at the rail with Lido Palace. Lido Palace backs off a bit now to run in third. Cats at Home right alongside him in fourth. A break of 5 back to a reserved Sherpa Guide. And late running Baseball Champion is slow to find his best stride. As they continue down the backstretch, Express Tour, prompted by Gander, a solid first quarter there, 23 and 1/5 seconds. Cats at Home just to the outside of heavily favored Lido Palace. It's a long way back to the other 2, 10 lengths or maybe 12 back to Sherpa Guide and Baseball Champion. The field moving into the far turn. It is Express Tour, whose half was 45 and 4/5 seconds. Gander remains in second. Chavez keeping after Lido Palace on the inside of Cats at Home. Midway round the far turn, it's still Express Tour, shadowed by Gander. Lido Palace bottled up on the inside of Cats at Home with 3 furlongs to go. A long way back to Sherpa Guide and Baseball Champion. So as they come to the top of the stretch, Express Tour continues to lead the way. On the outside, Gander right at his throat latch. Lido Palace is 2 lengths behind them and under the whip, and now taking to the outside. Cats at Home is now fourth. They're at the top of the stretch. Express Tour bracing for the challenge, and Gander has come away with the lead. It is Gander in front, and Lido Palace on the outside is third at the 8th pole. Gander short lead. Express Tour fights on. Lido Palace doing his best, and his best has gotten him the lead. It is Lido Palace in front, coming down to the finish to win the Woodward. Lido Palace wins by 3/4 of a length. Gander finishing second, and Express Tour was third.
Lido Palace makes it 2 in a row in this Grade 1 race, as With Anticipation had done in the prior race on the card, winning his 2nd consecutive running of that event. Not as striking a performance for Lido Palace in victory here, a little bit of a slow time for him, but nonetheless, he got the job done. He beat the horses they gave him to beat. Gander, top of the stretch, looked like he might have had it won, as Georgie Chavez on Lido Palace had already gone to the whip. Express Tour, very game in defeat, fighting back very honestly down on the inside and holding on to the 3rd spot. The winner, Lido Palace, is a chestnut 5-year-old son of Rich Man's Gold from Sonata by Quick Decision. He was bred by Jaros Figueron in Chile, owned by Ammerman Racing, trained by Bobby Frankel, and ridden to victory by Georgie Chavez. It does appear that they will be bringing him back at the end of the month in the Jockey Club Gold Cup to try to determine if he shall earn a berth in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Lido Palace completes the mile in an 1/8, couple of ticks slower than the 3-year-old fillies earlier on the card, 1:47 and 3. We're going to head back down to Belmont Park once more for the Sunday's running of the Garden City Breeders' Cup Handicap for 3-year-old fillies in Grade 1 company on the turf. Let's head back down to New York now for Tom Durkin's call of the Garden City.
And they're off. Wonder Again comes away first. April Green and Kathira down toward the inside is heading for the lead as they hit the clubhouse turn. It's Kathira out hoofing them into the first turn. Oh, going a bit wide there, taking Cyclorama with her. Kathira now settling down a bit. And Cyclorama taking a bit wide going into the turn is now 2nd. Wonder Again is now 3rd. And then it's Moreski, well held in 4th position. None at all came away in 5th. And Pertuisan rates back nicely in 6th, about a half dozen lengths from the lead. Then it's Spring Star on hold on the outside, followed by Risk Averse, April Green, and the last of them all is Maliziosa. They continue their run up the back stretch. The opening quarter went in 24 and 3/5 seconds. It's Kathira the leader. Kathira now by almost 2 lengths. Cyclorama runs in 2nd. And then on the outside, it's None at All, edging up into 3rd position. Wonder Again is in between horses, now racing 4th. Pertuisan in between horses is 5th. And then it's Spring Star, who's moving comfortably at this juncture, 6th. And on the outside, now beginning to move up just a bit. Mariansky is now back to 7th. They ran a half here in 48 and 2/5 seconds. On the far turn, long shot Kathira still holding that lead. Kathira in front to half length, Cyclorama 2nd, and it's None at All now putting in her bid with 3 furlongs to go. None at All is now 3rd on the outside. Pertuisan has enjoyed a good trip while in behind the lead. And here comes Spring Star, but she'll be forced 4 wide into the stretch. Wonder Again is right there in and among them, and it's wide open at the top of the stretch now. Kathira full out trying to hold off Cyclorama. Their heads apart for the lead. Wonder Again is right there, None at All on the far outside. Pertuisan is stymied, bottled up toward the inside. Risk Averse is slicing her way through. Here comes Risk Averse. Wonder Again has emerged with the lead. Risk Averse is surging to her. Here's the wire. Wonder Again wins by a neck. Risk Averse finishing 2nd, and Pertuisan was a tough trip 3rd.
Wonder Again and Edgar Prado. This filly goes from strength to strength since moving on to the turf. Now 4 in a row, and a nice victory here over one of her constant rivals, her shadow Risk Averse. These two have now run 1-2 a couple of times consecutively. Risk Averse slicing through horses, as Tom said, getting up into the 2nd spot. Pertuisan making her American debut. In my opinion, she had a very, very rough trip, and I would imagine she will probably perform a little bit better next time out. The winner, Wonder Again, very impressive 3-year-old daughter of Silverhawk from Ameriflora by Danzig, from one of the strongest families in the thoroughbred breed, bred by the Phillips Racing Partnership and John Phillips, owned by John W. and Joan G. Phillips, trained by Jimmy Toner, and ridden to victory by Edgar Prado. Wonder Again completes the mile and an 1/8 of the Garden City Breeders' Cup Handicap in 1:47 and 1. That wraps up a very busy opening week of stakes racing action from Belmont. We hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of Horses and Courses and hope you'll be able to join us again next week. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm Jean Wood, and I'll see you back here next time.